Alright guys, so I know a lot of people didn't get to come to school on Tuesday because you're just A-dayers, so I wanted to make a quick video on the important topics from these notes, okay? So, this is the 4th page down, and we're going to be looking specifically at number 4 right here. So it says, in general, what is the y-intercept of y equals ax squared plus bx plus c? So right here, that's a quadratic in standard form. Hopefully by now, if you've made it through some of the content in GeoGebra, you've seen that the y-intercept is always the c value, okay? And we're always going to make the y-intercept as an ordered pair. So for this question in particular, you would always say the y-intercept is 0, c. For letter B here, it says, what is the x-coordinate of the vertex? This was probably a little bit harder to figure out just based off of going from numbers 2 and 3. But the formula to find the x value of the vertex, okay, specifically the x-coordinate, it's not anything else, you would do negative b divided by 2 times a. So let's take a look at 2 and 3 and see how that works. So the b value is in the middle, so we would take negative 5. And then we would divide it by 2 times a. The a value here is 1, so we would do 2 times 1, which would give us negative 5 halves. Negative 5 halves is negative 2.5. From there, to find the y value, you would plug that value in for x to find y. Okay, and that's what you're going to do. So to find the vertex of any type of standard form quadratic, you just do negative b divided by 2a. So number 3, we would do negative 4 divided by 2 times negative 2. That would give us negative 4 over negative 4, which is positive 1, which matches that x value of the vertex there. So this is probably the most important thing, letter B. Letter C is the axis of symmetry. Whenever I ask you for the axis of symmetry, it should be a formula. Okay, the axis of symmetry is physically a line that goes down the middle of a parabola. Should cut the parabola perfectly in half. Okay, this would be our axis of symmetry. And it's just using the same value as the x-coordinate of the vertex. So it's just negative b over 2a, and then we would say that is equal to x. So, how is this going to be helpful for us? On the very last page, it says put it all together. It says graph the quadratic function following the steps provided. This list of steps right here, guys, is basically a step-by-step how-to of graphing a quadratic in standard form. So step-by-step how-to graph quadratic in standard form. Okay, so if you ever are confused or don't remember how to graph a quadratic in standard form, come back to these notes. So it first says calculate the x value. Then it says use the x value to find the y value. That's where we plug the x value of the vertex back into the equation. The third step is to plot the vertex and then draw the axis of symmetry. Remember, the axis of symmetry is this line that goes straight down the middle of the parabola. From here, you can identify the y-intercept. Y-intercept is always the c value. Plot it and then we would plot the y-intercept. So 4 is find the y-intercept, 5 is plot the y-intercept. So we would plot this point right here, 0, 1. And then it says find its corresponding point on the other side of the axis of symmetry. So we just reflect this physically across the axis of symmetry and plot that next point. The last thing to do, so step 6 just says pick one x value close to the vertex and plug it in to find the y value, which is exactly what I did right here. I used 1, plugged it in, and found that you would get out 13 if you added all that stuff together. So this is probably the most important thing of what you need to know from 2.1. Okay, the rest of this unit is going to be graphing quadratics in all the different forms. We just started with standard. When we get back, we'll talk about 2 more forms. Okay, so if you have any questions, as always, message me on Canvas. I'm here to help you, and I hope you guys have a great couple days.